Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Greetings everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for another amazing session of the Daily African Proverbs. We are live on YouTube and also on Clubhouse. And we have an amazing proverb today. The proverb says that no matter how long the neck is, there is no day it will surpass the head. No matter how long the neck is, there is no day it will surpass the head. This is an amazing proverb. I didn't spend enough time with today's proverb in order to have a strong interpretation of what this proverb means. But really, if you take it literally, the way the proverb itself says, no matter how long the neck is, there's no day it will surpass the head. You can apply it to so many situations. You can apply it to, there are sometimes leaders and there are always followers, So in life, there are people who will always prefer being a follower no matter what position of leadership or what opportunities they are presented with. They are always just comfortable with being a follower. But then there are some people who always want to be a leader. That's one way you could interpret today's proverb, from a leadership lens, But then for me as a father of 3 girls, I can also, relate this proverb to being a parent. No matter how, no matter what situation it is, I will always be a father to my 3 girls, and that's something that cannot change, So this proverb is just a reminder that there are certain things that will always stay the same. You can't change them no matter what you do. I just want to welcome you all to the Daily African Proverbs here in the African Father in America Club on Clubhouse. Please ping 1 or 2 people to join us for today's conversation. Today is Friday, and this proverb that we are discussing is actually Nigerian. This is a Nigerian proverb, and on YouTube I have my brother Raphael Hari, who is the host of the White Label American podcast. Thank you so much, Raphael, for joining us. If you want to join us on YouTube as well, my channel is Simon Javan Okello, and whenever we come here in the Daily African Proverbs, I share my interpretation, I listen to other people's interpretation, and hopefully by the end of our conversation, we have learned some African wisdom, so that as we go into our weekend or as we go into our day, we are a little more empowered, a little more inspired, and also just a little more grounded in our African wisdom. But really, I love being here because at the end of the day, I feel like I'm making my ancestors smile. I'm making them proud, because African proverbs are a very critical piece in who we are as African people. I grew up with African proverbs being a part of, our upbringing. My mother used African proverbs all the time. When you did something wonderful, she would compliment you with an African proverb. When you did something terrible, she would rebuke you with an African proverb. So I want to see if there are those of us on Clubhouse who want to join us on stage and just share your interpretation as well. I want to welcome Sarah, who is always a consistent supporter of the Daily African Proverbs, Thomas and Ernest and Lizzie. I'm grateful for your support. I want to take a few minutes here to ping in 1 or 2 people into the room. I urge you to do the same if you are on Clubhouse. And if you are on YouTube, I also want to urge you to ping in to share the link, drop your comments like Raphael is doing, and let me know what your thoughts about today's proverb is. The proverb again says, no matter how long the neck is, there is no day it will surpass the head. No matter how long the neck is, there is no day it will surpass the head. So currently what I'm doing, if you're on Clubhouse, is pinging in people into the room. I see quite a few people joining us, and I'm just grateful that you're here. And also on YouTube, we are live streaming, and I have been joined by Raphael Hari, the host of the White Label American podcast. Is an audience on YouTube. He's just watching, but in the past couple of months, I have hosted him as a guest, and he's one of the most amazing brothers I've met in the recent past. So again, I just want to thank you again, Tess and Queen and brother, for joining us. This is the Daily African Proverbs. I've been hosting this room for a while now, since January. At the beginning, this room was happening for just 30 minutes, and then it grew to happening for about an hour, and then we did it from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning. Then in September, I started doing it at 6 a.m. because the school schedule changed. And now it's 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time. And, we still do the same thing. We bring in a new African proverb every day, and we dissect it and learn some African wisdom from it. The only difference is that I don't choose the proverbs anymore. NCAM has been picking all the proverbs that we are sharing currently, and it's just nice to not have to be the one picking it, to just see how I relate to the proverbs and also how people respond to the proverbs. But the last week has been exciting, so all the proverbs we've discussed this week have been selected by NCAM Jika. Really, I want to see if Ivna wants to join us on stage. Queen, if you want to join us on stage, feel free. And Thomas, if you want to join us on stage, feel free. And brother as well, if you want to join us on stage, feel free. We're just here to learn through African proverbs. And the proverb we are discussing today is beautiful, from Nigeria. It says, no matter how long the neck is, there is no day it will surpass the head. I shared my interpretation earlier, and I shared my interpretation in regards to leadership and also being followers. I was sharing earlier that this proverb reminds me about leadership in regards to how some leaders, the people that always want to be in leadership positions, and somehow they end up being in leadership positions, but there are some people who just want to follow the leaders, whether it's within a work setting, whether it's within a school setting, whether it's at home, even amongst couples. There are people that always want to be seen, and then there are others who want to support the other person to get seen. That's one way I was looking at it. Then the other way I was looking at it was as a parent, as a father of 3 girls. I was looking at it in a way that, I'll always be a father and my daughters will always be daughters, And in summary, I was thinking, and I'm still thinking, that there are certain things in life that you can't change. They are the way they are, and they will not change, And I think that's what this proverb is reminding us about. No matter how long the neck is, there's no day it will surpass the head. Now, I want to make sure I'm actually audible, because sometime when I invite people on stage and I don't see them responding, I even begin questioning whether I can be heard. So just raise your hand, even if you don't want to come on stage, to indicate to me that I am audible. That's if you're on Clubhouse. And also, if you're on YouTube, just let me know. I see Queen says I'm audible. Okay, thank you. Great. Well, what I might do is probably to share with you the recording from yesterday's conversation. Yesterday we also had a beautiful conversation here, and we talked about, of course, another proverb, and I want to pull it so that I can play that recording for you briefly, and then maybe once that ends, we can hear some thoughts from Thomas. Thomas, first I want to just give you a chance to share with us your interpretation for this proverb, so that before I play the recording, at least we hear your voice and hear what your interpretation is. The proverb says, no matter how long the neck is, there is no day it will surpass the head. Thank you, Thomas.
Good morning, Simon. Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon, if it is afternoon for some people, I think. And thanks for this opportunity. I love coming into this room. I think this would be my fourth or fifth day. And thank you. My interpretation is I was listening when you said the proverb, and I feel like it is for some people, it could be just comfort. Like if they're comfortable in certain position, like being in one position, whether it is at work or whether it's like in a community or among friends, if they have like a certain position, like let's say if somebody that's like um, hold the groups together and like doesn't like if among friends, for example, if they are like the quiet ones and but they have like great ideas, like how to do certain things, but since they're always seen as a quiet one, they don't want to change that, and because they're either comfortable or they're comfortable because they're uh, afraid of change. And when especially when we are afraid of change, we tend to stay in one position and we don't try to change anything. So that's how I feel like this proverb is like, no matter how long the neck is, it will never surpass the head. It's I feel like that's what it it says to me, is like no matter how comfortable. How many great ideas that we have to change certain things or to accomplish certain things, we don't do it because we don't know what the change is going to bring. So we are scared. And so we stay comfortable in that position and just stuck in that position without moving and just be comfortable. I think that's what it means to me. And I'm Thomas. I'm done speaking. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Yeah, I love I love everything that you shared, and you know, are you saying that? Are you saying, from what you are sharing? Are you saying that it's being so comfortable is not a good idea, and we should always try? There's another proverb that says, "Don't dry where you took your shower." So are you saying that you should do what you need to do and move on?
Uh, Not so much. But sometimes when we have like ideas that can improve our life or our society or our community, just because we are afraid of change, because we don't know what the change is gonna bring, and we don't tend to let it. We don't tend to see it in a different way, and then we just get comfortable with certain things, and then we say like, oh, this is the normal, like this is how it has been done for many years, so we will not change it because either A, we're just comfortable and we don't want to change it, and then or B, we're afraid of change because we don't know what that change is going to bring, because sometimes change can bring failures, and as humans, we tend to be scared of being a failure. But sometimes being a failure is a good thing because you learn from that experience and you become a success, uh, if that makes it clear.
Yes, 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 it did. It made it clear. And yeah, I think failing and struggling and it's an important part of growth. It's an important part of growth, and many people who have been successful historically, who have done, things that have transformed the world, have probably failed the most times, more times than they've actually succeeded. So thank you so much, Thomas. Welcome, Faline and Daryl, to the Daily African Proverbs. We are here discussing another African proverb that says, no matter how long the neck is, there's no day it will surpass the head. No matter how long the neck is, there's no day it will surpass the head. I'm live streaming on YouTube as well. So feel free to join me. My YouTube channel is Simon Javan Okelo, and feel free to subscribe to it as well. I want to hear more of your voices. I want to hear what Faline has to say about this proverb. Chantel and Daryl, feel free to raise your hand if you want to join us on stage. At 6:30 a.m., I will turn off hand raising. And also feel free to ping in 1 or 2 people into the room if you are on Clubhouse. And if you are watching this on YouTube, please remember to leave your comment so that I know what this proverb means to you. The proverb says, no matter how long the neck is, there is no day it will surpass the head. Faline, the mic is yours. Share with us what your thoughts are about this proverb. Thanks a lot.
Greetings, everyone. Faline here. And the first thing that comes to mind when I think about this proverb is really about being faithful to each step. So you cannot, or it would not be wise to jump 5 steps ahead if you're not able to complete this step, the preceding. So if you think of the neck as the preceding step to the head, then you have to complete where you are to get to the next part. So that's the way the first thing that comes to mind about it. If something deeper comes, then I'll be able to share that. Faline here, I'm done speaking.
Thank you, Faline. I love that. You should not take shortcuts. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, that is what I'm saying. And the thing about shortcuts even is that when you take a shortcut, sometimes you're lengthening your journey. So that's in the way, again, very direct. It says no matter how long the neck is. So if the long is short, if the neck is short or if the neck is long, it still will not, it will not go past where it is. You have to complete that step.
Wow, thank you so much. I hope you're all learning. If you're joining us here on Clubhouse, welcome Tikisha and team. We are dissecting an African proverb and learning some African wisdom from it. We've been doing this consistently for a long time, since January. And today we are discussing this proverb that says, no matter how long the neck is, there's no day it will surpass the head. And Faline was just sharing with us that, if you take shortcuts, you lengthen your journey. I love that. Please raise your hands if you want to join us on stage. In 10 minutes, we will be turning off hand raising. And, if you're joining us for the first time, please make sure you're following the African Father in America Club. That way, when we host the Daily African Proverbs, you are amongst the first people to be notified. I also love live tweeting whenever we're having this conversation. So if you want to connect on Twitter, my Twitter handle is at Okelo Javan. You'll be able to get some of the nuggets there. And then this conversation is being recorded for the African Father in America podcast. So in the next hour, like an hour after our conversation, you can, find this as an episode of the African Father in America podcast on all podcasting platforms. So welcome again to the Daily African Proverbs. Earlier on I shared what my interpretation was in relation to this proverb. We invite everyone to join us on stage within the next 8 minutes. Share your interpretation, tweet size interpretation, just a minute or two at the most, so that we can learn from you. My hope is that by the time we leave this room, we gain some African wisdom, so that as we go through our day, we have a little more confidence, especially because African wisdom and African proverbs were things that our ancestors, used, whether it was in educational situations or in situations where you needed to warn somebody. I think this proverb is a cautionary proverb as well. It cautions you that if you are at the stage of being a neck, it's okay. You can stay there for a while, because your time to be the head is going to come, and it's going to be a totally different experience. So I'm just learning that there's a theme of acceptance. Accepting your situation. Before you progress to the next stage. I want to give a big shout out to Raphael Hari, who is reminding me that every Friday here in the Daily African Proverbs, we used to have French, our French-speaking brothers and sisters were centered on Fridays, and we would hear people share their interpretation of the proverb in French. So if you're a French speaker and you're in the room, please feel free to also let us know what this proverb means to you in French. With that, I want to just check in again with Thomas and Faline. If you don't have any thoughts, I want to play a little clip from my recent trip to Kenya. I was in Kenya for about 3 weeks, and I've been editing some of the content from there. And I just want to make sure that if there's no one in the audience that wants to raise their hand to join us on stage, I'll play a couple of clips just to give you guys an idea of what my trip was like. I met a few people that I talked about proverbs with, so I'll try and find those segments of this project that I'm working on so that I can play them for you. But quickly, I just want to check the room before I completely take us to a direction that we normally don't take the Daily African Proverbs to. Who in the audience wants to join us on stage to share their interpretation of today's proverb? I see that we have quite a few new people, so maybe I'll just share a quick background about the Daily African Proverbs, because I feel like 99% of the room are new to the Daily African Proverbs, which is wonderful. But I think I've said a few times that we started the Daily African Proverbs in January, and we've been doing it for an hour since then. Every day. It's like the morning African coffee that we have around the table, discuss African proverbs. So every day we bring a new African proverb, we dissect it, we gain wisdom from it, and we've built, really, really strong communities as a result. So that's why we are here. We are here to make our ancestors proud. We are here to make our ancestors smile, one proverb at a time. Now, nobody's raising their hand, so I'll go ahead and maybe play for you a few clips here. Yeah, I hope you're all doing great. Yeah, there's nothing like being in the continent, and also there's nothing like discussing these proverbs with people who are in the continent, and just picking their brains about what I'm doing on Clubhouse. So this clip that you're going to hear was I shot it in the Rift Valley, and in the Rift Valley, that's where most of the tea. Kenya is the third largest tea exporter in the world, so most of that tea comes from the Rift Valley, and that's where this video was shot at. It's a short clip. I'll play it, and then I want to just hear responses from those on stage, and I'll also keep hand raising open for those who are in the audience to join us on stage if you're interested. This is Simon speaking. For those who are in the clubhouse audience, can you just confirm if you are hearing the audio? Because on YouTube it seems like they could not hear the audio. So I just want to double check. Could you just tap your mic if you heard everything? Okay, perfect. Well, I want to hear what you all what you have to say about that. I'll start with Thomas and then we'll go to Faline. But if you're just joining us, today's proverb actually says, no matter how long the neck is, there is no day it will surpass the head. So that's the proverb we are discussing. If you're on stage and you haven't shared your interpretation of this proverb, feel free to share. And also, if you're on stage, to respond to the clip I was playing when I was, when I was in Kenya recently. I recorded a lot of video clips that I will be sharing. I'm editing. I don't know whether it will be a documentary or whether it will be a vlog, but I recorded a lot. I had a camera with me everywhere. Anyhow, I want to hear what you all have to say. So Thomas, please.
Oh, thank you, Simon, again. I think the one he said, no matter how bad a man is, he will always have a home. Um, that is, I feel like it means a person can be as mean or as bad as they could be to someone, but to someone else, they are like, the love of their life, or like, the jewel of their crown, or they are like, the person that brings sunshine and smile, like, to others. Like, they could be bad for some, but then to others, uh, they are a different person. That's what that, like, the proverb meant, like the one that says, no matter how bad a man is, like, he will always have a home. That's what I felt like to me. I'm Thomas. I'm done speaking.
Thank you, Thomas. I want to pass the microphone now to Panyar Deet. Oh, Panyar Deet, welcome, my brother. I hope you're doing well. And Simon Okelo.
Yes, thank you, Simon. Yeah. Yes, interesting. Yeah. African proverbs. We want me to give what, a proverb? You want to explain the ones we've heard, or?
What I want you to do is, as you joined the stage, I was playing a clip of a few people I was talking to when I was in Kenya recently that were sharing their proverbs with me, and you can respond to the clip if you heard it. If you did not hear it, that's okay. But there is a proverb that everyone that joins me on stage responds to. Every day we bring a new proverb and people share their interpretation of that proverb. And before we come to the room, I normally share what the proverb is a few hours before the room on all my social media handles. You can find me on at Okelo Javan. So that's what we do. We share the proverb across all social media platforms. Then we gather here to discuss it, and we live stream it on YouTube as well. So feel free. You have 2 minutes. Thank you so much.
Okay, let me listen for a while. I'll come back a little bit because I missed you I've not followed you on social media. But I I heard the proverbs you're talking about, the Kikuyu one, the Kamlua one. Yeah, so I will come back in a minute. Give me a bit of time.
No problem. And then the proverb we are discussing today, which is on my Twitter, it says, no matter how long the neck is, there is no day it will surpass the head. That's the proverb we are discussing today. So I want to welcome Jay, who is also a regular attendee of the Daily African Proverbs and also a co-creator of this space. Thank you so much for making the time. Please share with me what your interpretation is of today's proverb and also any thoughts from the clip that I shared. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, dear brother Simon. Yeah, that was really interesting about the neck. No matter how much it tried, no matter how long it grows, it's never going to surpass the head. And that is because the neck is necessary and needed uh, to support the head. That is the role, that's the responsibility, is to support the head. And just like all the other parts of our bodies, they have different roles to play to support the body as a whole. And that's the way it was created. And that's one thing about it, knowing what your role, what your responsibility is in life, what you're designed to do, what you were created to do, and to make sure that you don't try to put yourself in the position or put yourself in a place that's actually going to cause more harm, because the neck really needs to be a certain width and a certain height in order to make sure that that head is properly supported. Um, Now, in terms of your clips, I really enjoyed those clips. I think it's going to make, however you designed it, whatever you intended for, whether it's going to be short stories, a short movie, a documentary, however you're going to do that, I think it's going to be really interesting, really fascinating. I enjoyed the one about do good and go your way. Because a lot of times people will do good for the sole purpose of being seen, in order for someone to, to thank them, to elevate them. to compliment them rather than just doing good for the sole purpose of doing good, of making a difference, and not because in some way it will elevate them. So that's what I want to say about the proverb, and that's what I'd like to add about the clip. Thank you so much, dear Brother Simon.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for your share, and I'm having trouble. I'm having trouble picking which parts of the videos and the content I recorded while I was in Kenya. It's long now. It's like 3 or so hours, but I haven't done enough editing of it, but that's 3 weeks worth of content, so I've been cutting away quite a few. But even just the nature, the roads, and how people are traveling, many things are more precious to me than when I used to live in Kenya. I used to take so much of the beauty and just nature in Africa for granted, and now I feel like because I don't live there full time, I miss it more. So I can't wait to share. I'll play another clip before the end of the room of another group of people sharing their proverbs in a similar way to what I shared. But I want to give a chance to Crystal and Easy and Dr. Wanda and Tim to also share their thoughts, whether it's in regards to the proverb for today. The proverb for today says that no matter how long the neck is, there is no day it will surpass the head. This is an African proverb. I'll pass it to Crystal to share with us her thoughts on it, and then we'll hear from Easy and Dr. Wanda and Tim. I also played a clip, so if you had the clip of some of the elders in Kenya from very many different tribes. I was traveling across Rift Valley, and I met a group of elders who are, they were supporting women who are selling by the roadside. And, one was from the Kalenjin tribe, another one was from the Kikuyu, there were Luyas there. And each one shared, a little proverb from their tribe, and it was just fascinating. I showed them videos because I live streamed this room. I showed them videos of what this conversation is all about, and they just loved it a lot. Anyhow, Crystal, the mic is yours.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. The proverb, no matter how long the neck is, there's no day it will surpass the head. It immediately makes me think of how everything has its purpose. And it there is nothing that's better or more important than the other. The neck has its own purpose, the head has its own purpose. And even though when we look at a human body, um, we're more so fixated on the face and the features, there's no way that a head can embody or have movement without the neck. So um, it just makes me think of the value and importance of everything. Um, that's what I think of when I think of this proverb. I'm done speaking.
Thank you, Crystal. It's been a while. I'm just so happy that you're here. I hope you're doing well, and I agree. Every piece of the puzzle is important. The neck is as important as the head. While you're sharing, it reminded me of, popularly in many African households, people always say the father or the man is the head of the house, and then a lot of women have also been responding that, oh, if you're the head of the house, then I'm the neck of the house. So where will you go without the neck? So this reminded me about, those conversations. Easy, share with us what your interpretation for today's proverb is. For those who are just joining us, the proverb says, no matter how long the neck is, there is no day it will surpass the head. Easy, the mic is yours.
Thank you so much, Simon. As always, I'm honored to be here and be part of this great, club. So this proverb to me basically it summarizes how life has been designed, and that's basically to say that just like the way Crystal has said, everything has a purpose. And also everything and everyone in this life or on earth has a responsibility towards something as far as this life is concerned. And the one of the things that I'm getting from it is that, for instance, there are particular or specific things that you are expected to do as a person or you are designed to do, of which if you don't do them, no one else is going to do them on your behalf. Just like the way, because it's your responsibility. So just like the way the neck cannot do the work that the head does and vice versa. Yeah, so that's my interpretation of it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Easy. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for your share. And everybody has a role to play, and everybody, the neck matters just as much as the head does. Dr. Wanda, thank you so much for making the time to join us for today's conversation here in the African Father in America Club. If you're in the room and you're not following the African Father in America Club, please do so that you can catch tomorrow's conversation as well. We'll be here at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, as well as Sunday. It's a daily program. Dr. Wanda, thank you for your continued support. Share with us your thoughts about today's proverb. The proverb says that no matter how long the neck is, there's no day it will surpass the head. Thank you so much.
Yes, I really like this proverb because it reminds me of the time I was in a supporting role in a non-for-profit organization. And the neck is a supporting role. It plays a support. It upholds the head. And actually without the neck, like I said, there would be no head. What would it do? It would follow, but it would topple. And oftentimes people will say, that person, they're just the secretary, they're just the nurse. But I'm telling you, you make the secretary mad, nothing will ever go well with you ever again. The neck is very important. It plays a supporting role. But I would even argue that behind the scenes is actually even greater than that which is seen in the out front role. And I'm complete.
Thank you so much. What you're saying is so true. And even when I was in Kenya, I experienced it a lot. You'd watch how watchmen, many people, in actually many countries in Africa, security guards are very important. In almost every home and almost every building, you'd find a security guard. And if you disregard them, you will not get what you want in that compound, or you'll not meet the person that you want to meet. And if you do, you'll be very, very stressed, So it's so true. Every person is valuable. I wonder if we already heard from Tim. No, we have not heard from Tim. Tim, thank you again for your continued support. Share with us what your interpretation of today's proverb is. The proverb says, no matter how long the neck is, there is no day it will surpass the head. Thanks a lot.
Good morning, Simon. Thank you for the opportunity to join the stage. I've been a part of the room many times, first time really speaking, but I think very profound proverb. I think it draws our focus on a couple of things. The power of authority and submission, and understanding that we all have a role. And I think those roles are significant. Had a friend of mine yesterday that he was sharing about his neck. He had a neck injury, and his ability to function was greatly impacted because his inability to turn and see. And I think it's really wise that the function of the neck provides the head and our logic an opportunity to see things that we may have not seen before, and how they work in concert with each other. Also, I think another interesting part is connectivity. Anytime you see or a person, you always see their head and neck together. Outside of, you wear clothes, even a t-shirt, you see it together and it functions together well. And when there's a disconnect, you can obviously see it. And so that's my interpretation. I do think that everybody has a role, and that role is significant. And sometimes you may be in a supporting role, but it does not diminish your value and importance and relevance. And I'm complete.
Thank you so much, team, for your share. I'm grateful. And thank you all for joining me for the Daily African Proverbs. We do this every day, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we live stream it as well on YouTube. So feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Simon Javan Okelo. I am joined there by Raphael Hari at the moment. And if you're there and I can't see you, please leave your comment. And if you're going to watch the replay later on, also leave your comment on YouTube so that I can learn what your interpretation is of today's proverb. The proverb again is, no matter how long the neck is, there's no day it will surpass the head. We are going to be wrapping up here in just a moment. I just want to look through the room and thank you all. Cheryl, Sharonda, Jilly, MK, Will, Ariel, Naomi, Queen, Roger, Bibi, Alfie, Chantel, Daryl, Sarah, Ernest, Faline, and of course everyone on stage, team, Dr. Wanda, Easy, Crystal, Jay, and Panyar, and Thomas. I'm grateful. We are going to wrap up in a moment. I just want to see if anybody on stage has a closing comment. I'll just give one person a chance to share a closing comment. I see that Panyar has a closing comment, so he's going to close us out. I'm grateful, and we will see you tomorrow again at 6 a.m. PST. Oh, Panyar, the mic is yours.
Thank you. First of all, tender women in the Zako, yes, that's a very profound one. Do good and just go about your way. It's very profound in that if every single human being tried to do that, just do good and just go about your way, I think the world will be a much better place. You're not doing good because maybe there is a being in heaven who promised you goodies, or because you want to be seen, or you want the pride. Just do good and move on. If everybody did this, the world would be a better place. The daily proverb, it's very deep, and I think there is so much in it. The amazing thing about African proverb, one sentence that has got so much in it. It could be maybe sometimes in our lives, in our struggle to be better than the Joneses, we forget that maybe one's role could be the neck and somebody else's role could be the head. So no matter how long your neck becomes, he's the head and you're the neck. You know, there could be that. It could be like other speakers were spoken about. Everybody has a role to play, and each role is important. The head without the neck can't do much. So there is so much in it, and it depends on your stage of life or what you're going through. It could mean something different to different people. I take it that no matter how long the neck gets, this could be maybe we try to overreach in what we're trying to do, in what we're trying to achieve, not realizing that at some point, no matter how big you become, no matter how long you become, the neck will remain the neck and the head will remain the head. I would just like to leave it at that. Thank you very much. Great room. I think I'll be participating more in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Panyar. I would also love for you to join us again, and I'm grateful. I suspect that you're from South Sudan, so I'm curious to connect with you and just learn more. You know, I've been to South Sudan many times, and I also heard your Kiswahili. It's very good, so I suspect that you've been to Kenya as well. So to everyone else in the room, this has been an amazing session, and we will be here again tomorrow, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Have a beautiful weekend.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okelo.